And why am I looking at Fabio? Well, if we have a look closely, he was born on July the 30th. Well, that was yesterday. So it was actually his birthday yesterday. And I didn't stream yesterday. So I'm going to celebrate his birthday today. I'm going to play through one or two of his games. That's Fabio. He's actually quite funny too. He's got a good sense of humour. I really like it. I'm going to play through this game here. I think that's it there. Oh, it's still his birthday for a few more hours, is it? There we go. Good. Well, I'm going to look. I don't know whether you've already seen it, but I want to have a look at Fabio Caruana versus Russian Ponomaryov in Dortmund in Sparkassen, 2014. Supposedly one of his better games. Fabio opened up with e4. I'll just make sure you can see the board. Yes, you can. And Ponomaryov, he replied with e5. And Fabio, the most beautiful man in the world, he played knight f3. And when analysing these Grandmaster games, it's very important you take your time. You don't rush through them. Because even the basic moves of putting a knight on f3 and attacking a pawn, which you already know, it's good to revise it. Knight f6. This is the Petrov's defence. In Australia, a lot of the women used to play that because they used to get scared about the complexity. Yeah, women chess players, right? This is in the early days of chess, right? Women, their attitude to chess has completely changed. But in Australia, we didn't get so many women playing chess because they found it too aggressive. And some of the women that played chess, I noticed there was a tendency to play this Petrov's defence because it's a pretty well equalising opening. So if you're playing a Grandmaster or something, good idea to play the Petrov. Knight takes pawn. That's considered the most aggressive line. d6, just attack the knight. Knight goes back and then you capture the pawn. And you've equalised. The evaluation bar on the left-hand side of the board says it's a small advantage to white, but it's very minimal. For humans, might be different for computers. Knight c3, well, this is a very interesting take on it. I mean, in that position, I'd like to just take the knight off. Fabio thinks like me. And now d5. No, he doesn't play it. Actually, not d5. I like that move. It's not too good, probably. But played bishop there. Oh, and then he plays bishop e3. He's just developing his pieces. He castled. You can't take this pawn. Too dangerous. Black copies. Black's playing exactly just like this is really this game's really in the spirit of the Petrov. But I think castling queenside is real dangerous. I don't think this move's good. Doesn't look good. I think castles is a better move. Have a look. Oh, interesting. Queen d7 is the top move. Okay, king to b1. Always played. Good morning, Rumplesnat. Rumplesnat's gifted three in my three gifts in my channel of recently. He's probably gifted a lot more. Arsenic Katani. Good morning, Arsenic Katani. And Captain Kitten, of course, who was one of the first in. We're playing through Fabio Caruana's game against the Russian Ponomariov. It was 27-23. It was Fabio Caruana's birthday. It still is in the United States for a few hours, apparently. But yesterday here, it was his birthday. But I didn't stream, so I missed it. So I thought, well, I'll honour Fabio, because I've always liked Fabio. Anyway, bishop to f6 was played. And he plays this move h3. He's trying to restrict this bishop at the moment. So he's got a plan. It's a very deep plan. I can only think that in the case of Fabio, this game is all preparation. Fabio would have a plan. I can't see it yet. All I know is you can't castle over there. Notice black stays in the middle. Black's waiting to see what white's going to do. That's why he played this move. He played this move for two reasons, h6. One, to stop knight here. Two to stop bishop here. And three, because he's frightened of castling. He doesn't want to castle. Meanwhile, you can imagine Fabio, castle, castle. I'm having my breakfast. B3. Got blueberries in there. And you know what blueberries do? Do you want me to show you? They give you inspiration. They do. They're great antioxidants. Great for your health. If you eat blueberries every day, there's actually a video on YouTube about it. About what are the effects if you eat blueberries every day. Well, it's great for cognitive function. And it's great for your health. They're a unique fruit. A6. Because if black chose to castle, black does not want white playing bishop there. Aha! Fabio's shown his hand. He doesn't want black to castle kingside. What he's saying is, if you castle kingside, I've got a welcoming committee for you. And if you castle queenside, I can play bishop here and start putting pressure down here on this fortification. See, castle's queenside. Now, how is Fabio, the most beautiful man in the world, whose birthday it still is in the United States, how on earth is Fabio going to attack that white position? Well, I believe Fabio will play here. I'll just check to see if I'm right. Yes, he does. I got that right. Morning, Rampatsy. How's Rampatsy this morning? You good? Oh, I've also got... I didn't show you everything. I got some peaches. I got peaches in there with the blueberries, right? Who else shows you their breakfast? There you go. It's the only way I can show you my breakfast without throwing up. Okay, so there's a blueberry. And got some peaches in there too. Oh, hold on, what else can I find in there? Bit of broken walnut surrounded by a bit of milk. That's a bit of walnuts. Walnuts are good for you. So I get a few little walnuts and I break them up with my fingers, chuck some of those in too, drown it all in milk. I've got some bran in there as well. Trying to mix it so I stay healthy. Trying to play G5. Well, that's an interesting move, but it's also a weakening move. It's an interesting move, but it's also a weakening move. I can understand why he's done it. He's trying to stop this pawn roll here. And now Fabio, the most beautiful man in the world, he centralises his knight. He's threatening knight takes knight. And then the pawn would have to take, and the king would be busted. So what he's really saying to his opponent is, you've got to take this knight. And so he does. And the position's just still a very slight advantage to white, as can be seen by the evaluation bar on the side of the board. But he captures with the pawn. Now what's he threatening? What's Fabio threatening now? Remember, Lucian Ponomariov, he's 2,723, one of the highest rated players in the world at this stage. This was back in 2014. Yes, if you said he's threatening to push the pawn to trap the bishop here, you're right. If he pushes the pawn, the bishop's got nowhere to go. It's trapped and the game's lost. So he must play a certain move. I think he'll play pawn here to block the pawn moving forwards, and it also blocks the bishop attacking the king. And so he does. It's not hard to find the best moves, is it? It's logical chess. Aha! Fabio, the most beautiful man in the world. Straight away, he's threatening a pawn structure here, because remember, I was a bit concerned about this move here being a weakness. Well, Fabio is threatening to take it all off. So there's capture and recapture. Wow. The other move was bishop here, but it's very, what's the word? I'm going to have a look at bishop here as a move. Well, the engine likes my move. If I move bishop here, you see, I'm defending a pawn, but at the same time, I'm making it difficult for Fabio to progress. However, Ruslan Ponomariov, he decides to push the pawn. I don't like this move. And now he goes this way. Oh, the engine says the game is still close to equal. The only difference is, in this position, White's got a little bit of spatial advantage. A little bit, not much, a little bit. Rook to E1 was played, and now Fabio's got a different plan. Remember I said a bit of space was obtained? See bishop, pawn, the bishop and the pawn here. Fabio wants to change bishops and effect a structural advantage upon Black's position. So it's getting dangerous for Ruslan Ponomariov now. He pushes a pawn here. I'm not impressed with this move. I can understand why he does it though. But this bishop here looks like a great move for White. And Fabio plays it. He plays bishop there. He's securing the f6 square. And he's got control of that one, and that one, and that one at the moment. Oops, sorry, this one. So Fabio's just got the smallest little advantage. The rook moves over there. Black is planning to put pressure on this pawn after he takes the bishop. Black might want to play queen here, and bishop takes bishop would win this pawn here. So Fabio's got a few challenges. Play queen to f4, just simply improves his position. And now with his dominant queen, Fabio can play bishop takes bishop and rook to e5. And he can bear some pressure against the queen side. If you get the rook, the castle up here, you may at some stage get this move, pawn to bishop 4 in. And you remember, if pawn takes pawn, remember that theme where if you do that pawn here, the white pawn can get here, that bishop's trapped, right? The white pawn can get there. So this is his plan. Control the central squares, get a castle on e5 and try to play c4 and win the game. So that's Fabio's methodology. So the queen moves back again. Excuse me. Now Black's threatening bishop takes bishop, and so he could try to put pressure on this pawn. Fabio moves his bishop back. It's very important Fabio is able to protect the pawn with the castle at some stage. Black's actually got real threats. King moves away. And now bishop to d3. This is a very brave move. He's changing direction with his bishop, putting his bishop on a better square. But the position does look equal to me. It looks pretty equal. Move the bishop back. Now, why can't White take that pawn? Well, if White takes this pawn, Black will take this one, won't he? played king to b2. Now he's taken the bishop. He's on the pawn. Rook takes. And notice now the pawn's protected. So now he protects his f-pawn. He says, if I can't come in, you can't come in. Played a5. Very interesting. This is a long-term idea. And I know what he wants to do. He wants to put this pawn here to tie up the black pawn structure. So it's a what we call a incremental move. Incremental. He's just trying to push forward very, very slowly without risking his position with incremental, tiny little moves. The moves to him that pose little or no risk, and probably little risk, and at the same time, just creep up a little bit on his opponent's position. He can't play bishop. Fabio would like to play bishop here, but he can't, because if he plays bishop there, pawn here, it's very strong too. So, and the pawn goes to a5, and this is the correct idea, I think. Black needs the pawns on black squares if the bishops stay on the board. Black's got a problem. If the bishops don't stay on the board, then the black king could be weak, right, in the long term. But we've got a long way to go. So this position, king here. Did you see that move? I didn't see it. I knew the position here was balanced, but I never saw that move. I wonder, I would have probably played rook here. Threatening to take the pawn off. Right. So, but he played king here, Fabio. And now he played king here. And now queen here attacks the pawn. Wow. Notice that, can you see that the castle here attacks the pawn too? So if pawn here, the castle could take a pawn. See how powerful this castle is? He moves the king back and he said, well, you can take that pawn, but if you take this pawn, I'll take that pawn. So what Ruslan Ponomaryov is saying is the position's very balanced and counterbalanced. So the big question for you viewers out there, remember, it's Fabio Caruana's birthday today, still in the United States. It's his birthday yesterday here, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And we're celebrating the birthday of Fabio Caruana, the third highest rated player in chess history. And he's a real nice guy too, so that helps him, doesn't it? So what move would you play here if you were playing the white pieces? No. Old man Sned says he's watched videos and he has has the first 5 or 6 moves, he makes them quick, then he gets stuck in the game. Yeah, that's what you shouldn't do, old man Sned. I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some games after this, And I'm going to teach you a secret, a chess secret. Don't tell the other people in the chat. Good morning, Leomes Gotus. Good morning. Harrison Ute says, is Fabio really the most beautiful man in the world? Grandmaster Teddy thinks so. Grandmaster Teddy told me privately that the most dangerous player that he's ever played was Fabio. You know why? I'll ask him. Hold on. Hey, Teddy! Teddy! I want you to tell these people here, these lovely people, we're playing through Fabio Caruana's game with Rusian Ponomariov. And as people say that Fabio is the most beautiful man in the world. And yes, Johnny? You said to me the other day, you told me, you said that the most dangerous player that you've ever played was Fabio. And you told me that he was, in fact, the most beautiful man in the world. And can you tell me why you found Fabio so difficult to play? Well, Johnny, he is the most beautiful man in the world. And, well, the truth is, he looks so beautiful, that when I was playing him, I got distracted by his sheer beauty. He's such a beautiful man. And so I got confused a little bit, and he nearly won. He nearly beat you? Wow. There you go. So Grandmaster Teddy was watching Fabio, and he was hypnotised. Can I say hypnotised, Teddy? Yes, I suppose I was hypnotised a bit, Johnny. So you were hypnotised by Fabio's beauty when you played him. This was across the board, no doubt. Is that right, Teddy? Oh, yeah, Johnny. So you got hypnotised by Fabio's beauty, and it nearly cost you the game. There you go. You've heard it from Grandmaster Teddy. So the answer is, to Harrison Utes, Fabio must be the most beautiful man in the world. Here we go. Play Queen to F4. He says, I'm done trying to cause trouble over there. So I've assessed the position as nearly equal, and I don't want to take your A pawn. So he moves back to Queen to F4. And now the king moves to A7. Now, to all intents and purposes, if the queen moves back here and the king moves back here, we would have a draw by repetition, wouldn't we? Well, rook to E1 was found. Now, so Fabio's found a new idea. Trust Fabio. He's found a new idea. And the idea is you can't play rook here to threaten the pawn, because otherwise rook here would cause you a loss. You'd be lost. You'd have a lost game. So you can't do it. So black is almost in Zugzwang. And now the bishop takes the pawn. So Fabio's given him that pawn. And now he's attacked the bishop. The bishop's moved back. And now rook takes pawn. So now Fabio's solved that problem of the H pawn. He's actually solved the problem. Fabio's very good at solving problems. And now G6. Well, this is where it gets tricky. Oh, look at this. Fabio's moving in. He's attacking the castle now. I told you, little incremental moves by Fabio. Moves the rook back. Now, look at this move. He's threatening rook takes pawn. Now, it's very, very difficult here. Play bishop here and protect it. He went that way. But now white could play pawn here. Pawn there. He can actually push this pawn. He does. He pushes it. Old man Sned just gifted 5 tier 1s subs in the channel. I nearly choked on my cereal then. I was so shocked. Looks like Dookie 1977 is a recipient of a gifted tier 1 sub from Old Man Sned, as has been Church on the Net and Advisory Crab. We love Advisory Crab in our channel, don't we? We see Advisory Crab come in here all the time. I gifted a tier 1 sub to Robert Fox, not the Fox. I was looking at the Fox this morning, and I've played the Fox nearly about 171 times, and Old Man Sned gifted a tier 1 sub to Robert Fox. Robert Fox has scored 5.5 points against me, and I've scored 165 wins against him. So I'm 160 games in front of Robert Fox. And he gifted a tier 1 sub to Wujek Dobra Rada. Wow, there we go. That's what Harrison Ute said. He says, wow, Johnny, wow. Yeah. Magic Mouse, I couldn't have played QE7 and guarded the bishop trying to keep the pawn. Magic Mouse has got the right idea. This is a very difficult game. Old Man said, mercy, poor abandonment cadeau, whatever that means, but we're going to have to find out what Dookie's talking about. He's speaking in that sexy language of French. Here we go. Rook G7 was played. And now we have some problems. How do we proceed? Pawn takes pawn, okay. Well, you've got to take with the bishop. And now there's a problem. There's a problem here. Can anybody see what the problem is? White's got a lot of square dominance here. Rook there. What? You can't play chess like that. Oh my God. Can you see what Fabio's done? Can you see what Fabio's doing? Oh, has Fabio blundered a castle? Old Man Sned, come on, tell us. We're playing through, it's Fabio Caruana's birthday today in the United States. And we're asking ourselves, has Fabio blundered a castle? Has he or hasn't he? Yes or no? Come on, chatters, come on. Speak up or forever hold your peace. No, it's not a wedding, right? It's not a wedding. Okay, well, I'll tell you. If the queen takes the castle, I think bishop here will be played. And then if king takes bishop, it's checkmate in the corner. Can you see that? Right, so queen take, imagine in your mind, queen takes rook, okay? And then white plays bishop here, threatening checkmate there. Well, how do you stop it? Well, you can't. So there's only one move. King takes bishop. And then queen here is checkmate. Queen there is checkmate in the corner. So the whole point of rook here is to get the queen off the back rank. To make way for this queen to checkmate there. This move is pure genius. And at the same time, it threatens this pawn. And at the same time, it pins this bishop to the castle. And it can't be taken. This is total Zugzwang. This is one of the most beautiful middle game instructive plays I've ever seen. Trust Fabio. Queen takes rook. And now, there it is. The winning move. And Russian Ponomaryov knew the final outcome, but he allowed Fabio to play it because of sheer artistry and beauty. So Rusian could have resigned and we would never have seen in the actual game the ending, but Rusian Ponomariov was so gracious to Fabio. He said, Fabio, you are the most beautiful man in the world, and you play the most beautiful chess in the world too. So there you go. And what a lovely finish. We'll go through that again. All those lovely stages but who would have seen this move? Not many players, I can grant you, would see this move. That is a sheer masterpiece. There is a way to stop bishop here. You could play a move like queen here. Oh, hold on, no, king here. Sorry, king here. But after this move, queen here, attacking the castle can't go here to protect the bishop, so the bishop has fallen. Okay, so that's the other ending, right? So it doesn't matter what the outcomes were. Rusian Ponomariov saw it all because he's a super grandmaster. He saw it, and Fabio must be congratulated on playing one of the most beautiful, instructive games that I've ever seen. The way he just manoeuvred around to find that final position, that final beautiful position where he's totally got black under the squeeze, under the thumb, and he finds this beautiful move. I think Stockfish would be very proud of Fabio. There you go. It's a great move, isn't it? Isn't that a beautiful move? I want to thank Rumpelsnat for gifting in my channel. I want to thank Old Man Sned for gifting 5 subs in my channel this morning. I want to thank 11 Ears for gifting as well. Oh, by the way, I tried to enable drops in my chat, chess.com drops. Are the drops activated? Good morning, Langerine. Uncommon King. Are the drops been activated, the chess.com drops activated in my chat? I can't see them. I can't see them in the chat, but does it say anywhere in my chat that they've dropped, have they? Oh, good. Samuel Spade says yes. Oh, good. So Green 14572 said the drops have been activated. If you watch my stream for 2 hours, chess.com puts a special code and you get a code, and it's a 2-month subscription to, I think it's 2 months or 2 weeks. It might be 2 weeks. 2 weeks subscription to chess.com. So if you're not a subscriber to chess.com, I'm getting distracted. I think Hannah Sace is doing a little dance, you know. She's very, very lovely looking lady. And so I'm getting distracted by Hannah Sace doing a little dance in the chat here. Do I have grandsons? No, I haven't, is the answer. Liam S. Goat 18. Liam S. Goat 18. No, I haven't got any grandsons, no. Where are we? Old Man Sned says, the level of thinking is above me and fantastic to watch. Says, I love chess, but this is so above me, it just makes me realise how bad I am. I don't mind though, just love the game. Old Man Sned, it's not a matter of how bad you are. Not everyone can be a Leonardo da Vinci, right? And create a beautiful piece of art that spans the centuries of time, right? For people today now to go to the Louvre and look at the beautiful works, and to go to the Sistine Chapel and look at the ceiling and see the work of Leonardo da Vinci. Not everybody can be a Leonardo da Vinci. And Fabio Caruana, the most beautiful man in the world, whose birthday it is today in the United States still. He is the Leonardo da Vinci of chess, or one of them. He's one of the great Baroque painters of chess. Okay. But we're going to play through one more of his games. We'll play through one more. We're going to play through one more of his games. Top players, here we go. I'm going to go back to the top players board. This is where you can find any of your favourite grandmasters in chess.com. You just go back to the top players, click on top players and their thing. And there's Fabio, number 3 in the world. It's amazing, isn't it? Hikaru, he's a streamer. He's streaming chess all the time. And he's number 2 in the world, Hikaru Nakamura. What a wonderful player. Okay, so so in 2018, he faced GM at the World Chess Championship in London, losing in the tiebreak block. He's also a 2-time US champion. So there you go. So he's also won the US Championship twice, Fabio. He's actually born in Miami, Florida, July 30, 1992. I think he's about the same age as Grandmaster Teddy. Well, he is. Look, you have a look. Hold on. Grandmaster Teddy. Fabio was born on July the 30th, 1992 in Miami, Florida. Now, I said that it's almost the same time that you were born, Grandmaster. Oh, yeah, I was born in 1995, Johnny. No, you were born in 2005. You were born in 2005, but you said you were born at Christmas time. It might be Christmas in July, because Caruana was born in July 30, and we do know that people celebrate Christmas in July. Isn't that right, Teddy? I suppose so, Johnny. Suppose so. Okay. Teddy got his eye in. Yeah. He won. When he was a kid in 2008, he won the Tata Steel Group C section. So he was always going to be a great player. There he is. He's got a funny face. You look at Fabio, and he makes you smile, right? And there he is. That's when he won his candidate qualification for the candidates for the world title. A young man on the rise. He thought he might be world champion. He put up one of the toughest fights for Magnus that Magnus ever had. There's a great photo of him. There he is. There's the birthday boy. It's the birthday boy. Hey, Fabio. I'm blowing him kisses. Fabio, you're the most beautiful man in the world. There he is. He's the birthday boy. Okay, rightio. We'll go down a bit further. There he is again. Oh, that's a good photo of him, isn't it? Okay. That's the birthday boy. Who's the birthday boy? Oh, he's playing Wesley So there in Norway chess. We all know Wesley So. And he played for the St. Louis Archbishops Atlantic Division. There we go. So he's done quite a lot in his time, hasn't he? Okay. And where are we? I was playing through the game of Vladimir Kramnik. He played a game against Vladimir Kramnik. We've got so many wonderful games. Okay, I'm going to have a look at one more game, and this game is against Gukesh. Now, Gukesh is one of the bright stars of today, right? So Gukesh, we all know Gukesh from India. He's rated 27-25 in this game, and Fabio is playing white pieces. He's rated 2,766. Legacy says, men in Portugal like you so much. Fabio, yeah, of course they would. There are certain types of men in Portugal that might be drooling over Fabio Caruana, the most beautiful man in the world. And when I say drooling, I mean that they're probably envying his chess ability. Right, because this is the wholesome chess channel. Rumplesnat says he was born in Miami on the 30th of July 1992. It was a hard time. Hurricane Andrew came through. There we go. Bin Laden is more than EUA. Bin Laden. Bin Laden, there we go. Okay, E4 was played by Fabio. I'm going to just finish my breakfast. I've only got a little bit left. As I was telling you, I was eating blueberries and peaches. Gukesh played knight f6. C4, e6. This is played at Tartar Steel Masters. D5, knight c3, bishop b4, queen a4 check. This is a very interesting move. The whole idea of this move is to put the knight on c6. See, this way, white has to put the knight here, and he can't push his c-pawn. See, black likes to push the c-pawn here and get dynamic play. And quite a few of the Indian players like to do this idea, this pawn here. But however, now queen check attacks the bishop. The only defense is knight here. Oops. And now e3 is played, and the pawn structure is just held. Now this position is equal. Castles. And the queen retreats to c2, which is a better square for the queen. Fabio is all about placing his pieces on the most advantageous squares possible. So he's trying to place his queen on a square which will coordinate with his pieces. Knight retreats, Gukesh. Now, both players have not developed the bishop. This bishop is not as good as this bishop. But the reason why, you've got to ask yourself, in this position, if you're playing this game, say you're playing Gukesh, and Gukesh plays this move, why? Why did Gukesh go backwards? So for the beginners out there, that's the question you should ask yourself. You should look at your opponent's move and you should say, why did you do that? There could be a blunder. I'm finished. It could be a blunder. But unlikely. Because we've got Gukesh playing here. He doesn't blunder. So what move is Gukesh planning? Well, it's this move here, c5. Again, he's saying to Fabio, I want to play pawn here. I want an active, dynamic game with the black pieces so I can choke you like chicken. So what does Fabio say to that? Well, Fabio just gets his pieces working and he connects his castle with his king. And so that's how Fabio responds. B6 was played. So what Gukesh is now saying, no, I'm not going to tell you what he's saying, hold on. I'm going to ask you, the audience, what ideas in the position here that's presented to you by the great Fabio Caruana, the birthday boy, and Gukesh at the Tata Steel Masters in 2023, that's this year. So what are the ideas that Gukesh has in this position? Why did Gukesh not play B6, C5? Why did he play B6 instead of C5? And what are the ideas behind B6? In other words, you ask the same question. Gukesh, why did you do that? Right? And we're teaching you chess here. You're getting free chess coaching. That's right. And you can thank old man Sned, Robert Fox, for giving you a free subscription. Rumplesnat's here. Rumplesnat says, I think you have to be rated 2,200 or 2,300, win some tournaments at that rating. Harrison Ute says, I'm not sure it's true, but I just heard from a little birdie, someone say you can get a rating from 1,000 ELO and you just have to win 4 to 5 games against players in your rating bracket. Rumplesnat says, I know an International Masters 2,400 and a Grand Masters 2,500. That's right. Rumplesnat says, John has been playing for 50 years. No, I haven't. No. Longer. I started playing chess when I was about 16 and I'm 70. So what's that? 54 years, about 55 years. I was born in September 52. So you're quite right, Rumplesnat. Some of the ideas I'll explain to you. The whole idea is we're going to put ourselves in the mind of Gukesh. Okay, so, one second. Right, we're putting ourselves in the mind of Gukesh, the great super grandmaster from India, right? Medalist at the Olympic chess games. Okay, so in this position, Gukesh says, how do I improve my position? And he looks at all the possibilities, like pawn here doesn't do anything, weakens the king side, king here does nothing, and he says, well, all the action seems to be going on over here, and the tension's here in the centre of the board. So I know what I'll do. I'll play knight here to try to increase the... I'm going to try to play knight there with the intention of increasing the tension in the board around the d5 square and also looking at c5. And then he looks at the position after bishop d2 and he says, I have this move here. He says, I have this move here, but I've found a better move. That's right. When he finds a good move, he looks for a better one. See, after pawn here and pawn takes pawn, there's no major advantage or anything like that. If anything, the bishop's still stuck down here behind. So Gukesh looks a lot deeper and he says, wow, if I play this move, right, pawn here, I've got the idea of bishop here, getting rid of my bad bishop because I'll be threatening this pawn, right? Can you see that? And I can still play pawn here. So all the black pieces suddenly become active. That's the Gukesh system. Not bad, eh? Great ideas in chess from the great Gukesh. A3 was played by Fabio. What Fabio's saying is, well, I don't like this c5 move. It's looking dangerous. And I want you to commit your bishop to making a mistake. Anyway, he played bishop takes and white recaptured with the bishop. Now, in this position, white's got the dynamics of this position have changed a bit now. And that would have made Gukesh think twice about b6. Maybe he was going for too much. Maybe he should have played c5. It's very interesting, isn't it? We'd have to go to the computer analysis to find out exactly what the best move was. It was complicated, and this could be still White's chance to play bishop here. Right? It still looks like the best move to me, but let's see what he plays. Oh, he played my move. Isn't it amazing? Ha! Gukesh played my move. Okay, now if I was White in this position, I'm tempted to play pawn here. So I'm tempted to play pawn here, and I'm also tempted to play knight here. Yeah, I'm tempted to play, knight here. I'm tempted to play knight here. That goes backwards. But that's a temptation too, knight here. So I like knight here and knight there, but I actually like that one a little bit better for some reason. Yeah. See what he played. Played pawn there. So I had a choice of 3 moves. In that position here, I was looking at the tension on this pawn, and I thought, oh, knight here will hold it. Then I saw knight here will hold it, and I saw pawn here will hold it. My first choice was the correct choice. Okay, so pawn there was played, and now rook to c8. What move does he want to play? Well, he wants to play c5. He does. He wants to play this move, open up the castle onto the queen. So Fabio plays rook to d1. He says, all right, then you do your best. And he played c5. Well, it doesn't look like a good move. He takes it off. Rook takes. Oh, but there's bishop here. Bishop here looks like a problem. There's queen here too. Queen here looks good too. I like queen here. If I had to choose a move in this position, I would like to think that queen here looks like a good move. Oh, he played my move. Fabio, the most beautiful man in the world, whose birthday it is still today in the United States for a few hours, he played my move, queen to b2. And the whole idea is he wants to play bishop takes knight and grab a pawn. Right? So now black has got a reply. Put queen to c8, and he says, you can have that knight. What? He took it. Gee, that looks very dangerous. Okay, so now Gukesh is saying, well, I'm testing you. You've got to prove this. You've got to show your attack. So he played knight there to protect his king. But he's got, do you notice he's got a lot of holes there? These holes around the king look really bad. And I imagine pawn takes pawn looks the best move. Another move that's possible would be pawn here. I like this move. So in this position, there are 2 moves that I like myself. I like pawn takes pawn, but it's not the best move. I know it's not. Because it activates the queen down here. But it might be all right. But I do like this one, pawn here. Because pawn here actually threatens pawn here and pawn there. So I like this move. Wow. He played it. Fabio played my move. Yeah, the whole idea is if you can get the pawn here, you can't stop checkmate, right? You're threatening to hit the horse. So it's very dangerous. The only defence that I can see in this position is a move like queen here. I can't see any other move that saves the game. Queen here looks like the only move. Well, he took the pawn. But what about the pawn push? He's threatening a checkmate. How do you save this? Gukesh must have had a genius of a plan to try to save this position. Rook hits queen. Aha! The Gukesh plan. And now he's saying, get your queen out of there. I don't like that queen. Play queen here. Well, you can't take the pawn because you'll take the queen and take the knight. So what move do you play here? Well, knight there seems logical. And now pawn takes pawn. Oh, you would think that he'd push the pawn threatening the checkmate, wouldn't you? Why not play pawn here? But he took the pawn off instead. That's interesting, isn't it? He took the pawn. I thought pawn here would be much stronger. Because he's got to defend against that. Okay. I suppose Fabio just knows that he can't go here, see? The knight can't move to defend the king. See, he's probably happy with this position. Oh, he's got a plan. No, Fabio's got a plan. If you play pawn here, he can get these blockade positions, but the knight's okay here. So what Fabio really wants to do now is he wants to play rook here and check with the rook. So that's Fabio's plan. Now I see it, Fabio. Thank you, Fabio. Yeah, rook here is the move. He wants to check him like that and win a piece. F6, he says, I've got to block you. Now he plays bishop e2. He's coordinating his pieces again. Now, what's wrong with White's position? And what's right with what's wrong with White's position? And what's wrong with Black's position? Well, what's wrong with White's position? This pawn is a bad pawn, blocks the bishop diagonal, and the bishop's on there, and you can't push it or anything because the rook takes pawn. So that's a bad pawn for White. Other than that, these pawns are pretty solid near the king. White's king looks very safe, right? So that's a good thing about White's position. White's king looks safe. What's good and what's bad about Black's position? Well, we spoke about Black's pressure on the c-pawn. That's a good thing. A bad thing would be all these holes near the king, right? There's lots of holes near the king. It's not easy to exploit, right? You're playing Gukesh, and Gukesh sees a lot of tricks. Nearly all the tricks. Rook to c5 was played. Now knight to e2. This is a very good move. It threatens knight here, which would attack the castle, and the pawn would check and take advantage of this weak king. G'day, Max 44. Someone's doing some dancing again. Harrison Utes has got a picture of somebody there. Who's that? That's not Grandmaster Gary Kasparov, is it? No, it's not. I'm only joking, Harrison. That's actually Harrison's That's actually Harrison's schoolmate. Uncommon King, yeah. Okay. I want to thank Old Man Sned for gifting 5 subs in the channel. Thank you, Old Man Sned. You're the second most beautiful man in the world. No, Teddy would have something to say about that. Okay, so he plays bishop to b7. So he's decided to take his bishop off this pawn, which is not important, and attack this pawn and prevent knight here, which we're threatening knight takes pawn check. Now, look at this move. He's activated his castle. The castle is now activated from this little quiet square here. It now controls that many squares. Instead of 4 squares, it now covers 9 squares. So the rook is hyperactive. The rook can also give a critical check at some stage. And it could also swing over here and grab the 7th rank, possibly. We'll just see what takes place. E5 is played. Now it's white to move. Knight to e4. He's attacking the castle. He says, go back, you carrion dog. And the other thing too is he's threatening knight here, which is an interesting move. The bishop would be very tempted to take this knight. He took it. But rook takes. Now white's got a very classical position with good pawn structure against bad pawn structure. White's got control of the white squares, and his bishop is a potential hazard to black. He's also got rook to d6, gaining a bit of space as a possibility. He played queen here. He's trying to fortify his position and probably may want to play pawn here. Now, one way to stop that would be pawn to g5, but that would be dangerous, just a bit dangerous. So this is a tricky position. So I want you to evaluate players. Gunnar Stahl, subscribe with Prime. Thank you, Gunnar. Oh, if you can't afford to subscribe with Prime but you want to, you can get a free sub this way by doing an Amazon Prime trial, right? You can get a free Twitch account, right? And you can link that, right, to your your chess and give us a free sub. That's right. And you get it all for free. That's another way. But that's if Old Man Sned's not gifting you. Some people have been very lucky this morning, haven't they, Robert Fox? Okay. I'll send Old Man Sned, I'm going to send Robert Fox a message to tell him how wonderful you were to him today. He will really appreciate it. He's probably working hard right now. He gets up early in the morning, plays a little bit of chess. Yeah, we're talking about Robert Fox. Old Man Sned gifted a sub to him. And he gets up early in the morning and he works very hard. And he's installing some fly screens. Some fly screens in a big project at the moment. He is. And so he's been very busy. So he's working really hard. He's only one man start. He's not young. He started off his little business all by himself, and he wasn't very young. He'd never been doing this type of business before in his life, but he's a hard worker, and all his life he's been a hard worker, and he contributes to the community. And I just want to say that you couldn't have gifted to a better person, Old Man Sned. Thank you, my friend. Uncommon King says, rooks look there weak there, the white one. Yeah, I agree with you, Uncommon King. The white castle looks weak, and so this is the challenge that Fabio has, and the challenge is, how does he use the castle in a fashion to improve its position? So, Uncommon King, that's a very good point. You pointed out exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking black may be aiming for pawn to f4 and limiting the squares of the castle here. Now, this pawn advance, if it was played, could both be a strength and a weakness. Because remember, when the pawn moves forwards, the king is even more open long term. The queen went to d2. He's not worried about the castle here. He knows his castle can go over here if necessary. And now rook over here. Gukesh is trying to distract the mighty Fabio Caruana, threatening rook takes pawn and encroaching on his territory. And what Gukesh is saying, Gukesh has analysed the game and he said, I've got enough pieces with the castle, my knight and queen, and what limited pawn structure there is to defend my king, because the white pieces are not coordinated enough to attack at present. Right? So they're not coordinated enough to attack. Rook checks, he decides to improve his position, and now there's a very frightening move coming that coordinates all the pieces. Can you see this move? King there, and now pawn here. This is dangerous. This threatens rook check now. Okay. Also, white wants to play queen here at the right time, at the critical junction. A knight moves there. Now, how do we improve this position? Well, he plays pawn there. Oh, what a lovely move. Can you see the point of this move? If the pawn takes the pawn, queen takes the rook. So the only move is rook takes pawn. And why? Because bishop here is threatening to pin the queen against the king. So rook takes pawn is forced. So now how does white proceed? Queen checks. Aha! Now that this castle is no longer protecting this pawn, white goes in and hunts for his share of the booty. Queen takes queen, rook takes check, and now white's achieved all his goals. King there, because of the rook takes pawn threat. What about the bishop check? That looks fun. Rook takes pawn. He doesn't check in with the bishop. Rook checks king there. That's forced. But now how does white proceed? In this position, is white not threatening bishop here and bishop takes knight? The rook went over there to attack, excuse me, to attack the pawn. And now rook to b4. He says you can have the pawn. And what he's saying here is he's assessing the position. By this move, he's assessed the position. And Fabio is saying, I've got an outside pass pawn in an open position. And my white squared bishop, the white squared bishop, dominates the bad knight. And if, yes, you can take the pawn, but your castle is out of play and it's going to take some time for you to coordinate your pieces. And even if you bring your castle back into play after taking the pawn, by then these two rooks are going to be on the 7th rank, zeroing in along here. So it's not easy. It's all about timing as well. Chess is about timing, positional play, and other things. It's amazing how Fabio was able to patiently exploit the black position and find this wonderful move, pawn to c5. Rook takes pawn, and now it's really dangerous. I can't see a decent move for black here. This position is really bad. So he played rook there. It's the best of whatever was available. Rook to the 7th rank. He says, you can't take that pawn or it's checkmate, right? So black takes that pawn. You can see it's going to be check, check, and the other castle will checkmate. So the pawn can't be touched. So it's a really, really bad game for our friend here. The only move he's got is rook check. I'd say that this is going to be the move he plays. Whoops. He resigned. He resigned after rook checks. So rook checks. Yeah, if he plays rook here, check, the king can just move away. Just king here. And it's just a win for white with the outside pass pawn. It's pretty easy. It's not hard. Okay. So there we go. That was my tribute to Fabio Caruana for his birthday. Fabio, the most beautiful man in the world. I hope you enjoyed that. What year did you get your FIDE Master title? I can't remember what year it was. It might tell you on the FIDE site. I can go and have a look. Hold on. Because other people ask me the same question. Oh, when did you get your FIDE Master title? I don't know. Well, there you go. There it is. So this is the FIDE site, I think. This is the FIDE rating site. FIDE, people also ask me, what is FIDE? I've got a message there. I've got a highlighted message. Sorry if I missed that. What's that highlighted message? I can't see it. Where is it? Look, best chess player in the world is online. Stahl is the best chess player in the world. No, I'm only joking. Catchy Emin, what year did you get your Master title? Here it is. My world ranking is 9,189. Well, that's not too bad, seeing there are absolutely hundreds of millions of people playing. That's all right. So in Asia, I would be ranked number 2,658. I'd be happy about that because there's about 3 billion people living in Asia. So I'd be happy about that. And in Australia, I'm still on number 46. Might have to fix that up. Here we go. So you can see I haven't played across the board for some years. I've been very, very, very slow in playing across the board. In October 2005, I played 5 games. Went up to 2305. So, gee whiz, they're rating me. They're checking up on me, aren't they? On my sex, it says I'm identified as a male. So that's me anyway. Okay. So I hope that answers your question, my friend. Right. And now we could play some of our chess friends. I went offline last night to see if I could get my rating up a bit higher. Because after all, Late Title Tuesday's coming, isn't it? Late Title Tuesday. Temporalis, if you mouse over the emote, you can see the name. It's Bob Ross. Oh, there you go. Bob Ross. Oh, yeah. Who was the girl dancing underneath Grandmaster Teddy? Island Youth. G'day, Island Youth. Thank you for subscribing with Prime Island Youth. There we go, Island Youth. And don't forget, if you watch the stream for 2 hours and you're not a chess.com member, you get a special code where you can get about 2 weeks chess.com membership. 2 weeks, I think it is. And I think it might be diamond. I'm not sure which one it is. Might be platinum or diamond. But yeah, g'day Necula Daniel. G'day, my friend. Necula Daniel comes into the channel regularly. Okay, I'll play some games. Play some 3-minute games. And I'll take on challenges too. You can see my ratings back to 2110. So despite people coming in here and using chess engines against me, I've managed to go back over 2100 when I'm not streaming online. Playing Asterisk is 2252. I might play quietly here. So here's 2252. I've got my king centralised. I've actually got an extra pawn, which does help a little bit. Got that thing there. Checkmate, checkmate. Here we go. Got him. And he was 2,241. So that helps my rating, doesn't it? Okay. Here's 2,241. I gained 11 rating points. I think I played the game well. Good evening, 11 ears. Good evening, Ibrahim. Oh, why did I move my king up instead of castling? Dirk Duromaker, I'm going to analyse the game for you. I was concentrating, so I couldn't talk when I was playing because he was 2241. So he's a serious chess player. So what I'll do is I'll take it into the analysis. I'll take it into the game review and the analysis, and I'll show you because that was an instructive endgame. Right, so I'll tell you all, train you all the ideas behind that endgame, and you'll see why instead of castling, I brought my king towards the centre. It's called the process of the fighting king. In some of Magnus Carlsen's endgames, and some of that of the other grandmasters, like the birthday boy, the fabulous Fabio Caruana, the most beautiful man in the world. He, how do I say that with a straight face? Well, he is the most beautiful man in the world, Fabio. I play with 86.4% accuracy, and I will show you that. Okay, we're just going to show you that one. Right, 86.4. And what else? What else can we show you? Well, we go down here, and my rating performance. Have a guess what my rating performance was. Who can guess what my rating performance was? Thank you again, Island Youth, for subscribing with Prime. Yeah, so here's the rating performance. I'll show you now. The rating performance was 2,450. And you can see the chess.com coach says, you really outplayed your opponent in that one. You played the opening well, but your opponent was on another level. It says you were a cut above your opponent in the middle game. And it said you outmaneuvered your opponent in the end game, right? In the end game. So that is where your chess lesson is today. Because we had that question from the chatter. He said, why, John, why did you move your king up instead of castling? Okay. And we're going to have a look at that. We're going to have a look at the ideas behind the opening and everything, right? Okay, so here we go. We've got into the analysis. E4 he played. I played C5. Knight F3, so we've got, it's a book move, right? Sicilian defence, played D6, it's a book move. You play bishop check, and I played bishop there. And the whole idea is, normally they just take the bishop off and play maybe C4 or something like that. He took it off. I took with a knight, it's a book move. You can take with the queen too. Sometimes you do have to be careful because the pawn can come here, and then with the idea of the other pawn moving up, supported by a pawn here, and the pawns can be very, very dangerous early and threaten to come forwards again and hit the knight if the knight goes out on C6. So I thought, well, I know what I'll do. I won't be there for him to hit me, even though it's a slightly inferior opening. So he castled. He's trying to play rapidly at this stage. He's got more time on the clock. So I'm just thinking about the best moves. Anyway, so I played knight to f6 to attack a pawn. And he played queen to e2 to protect it. So I just played e6. That's to develop my bishop here and prepare to castle. I need to castle, don't I, right? We all know that, don't we? So he played c3. Remember I told you he wants to play d4. Anyway, so I just played d5. I thought, well, I will surprise him. I'm just going to play pawn there, and if he takes the pawn, I can take with the knight, and then he doesn't get any thud moves on me. And if he plays pawn here, well, I'm not so unhappy about that, but pawn here is the best move, right? My best move was not pawn here. My best move was knight here. Now, I would not have seen that if the engine didn't tell me, because I didn't know that that was the best move. But that apparently is the best move. But I'll try to remember that in case I get this position again. So I played d5, and then he pushed the pawn. He didn't expect me to play this move. And because he pre-moved, he ran into the loss of the pawn. So I thought, great, I'll take it off. Star move, best move. So already, black's winning. That's right. I've played against a 2241 player, and I'm already winning. He played pawn takes pawn, so I just captured with the knight. Wrong move. And why is this the wrong move? I'm going to ask the chat. Chatters, 11 ears, Necula Daniel, Dirk Dillarameka, Island Youth, come on, Langerine, catch him in, an Uncommon King. Can one of you answer the question? Where did you start your chess career? I started in Hyde Park in Sydney playing against the beginners on the tables. I used to get a queen start. Okay, so what's the best move here and why? Well, we know the engine says don't take with the pawn, but what's the point of taking with the bishop? What's the point? Bishop takes c5 is correct, Necula Daniel. And the reason behind it, why is bishop takes c5 correct? That's what I want to know. 11 years says he's lurking. He's lurking again. You know who you remind me of, 11 years? You remind me of Lurch, you know, from the Addams Family. Lurch. Okay. Well, I'm going to turn this one off because we're in here. Well, the reason bishop takes pawn is better, it's not because it pins a pawn. No, it's because it prepares to castle. Black needs to get the castle, king castle. Now, what I played was I played knight takes pawn, wrong. Bishop takes pawn is good because you're preparing to castle. It's as simple as that. That's the reason, right? Make sense? So bishop takes pawn was correct. I played knight takes pawn. But there's a reason why I played knight takes pawn, because straight away when I looked at the position, I saw pawn here was a possibility. Pawn here with the idea of rook to d1. And I saw that was a possibility. But I also saw if he played pawn there straight away, I could take it off and play queen to d3, which is what happened. He played there, pawn takes, and now queen there. Star move, best move. That's what I saw 3 moves ago, right? Okay, so I'm looking 3 moves ahead, and he played right into my play, my main line. So the main reason for all this is that if I exchange queens, I've got the extra pawn, and I'm too strong to be mated with minor pieces. I'm too strong. So that once I get the queens off the board, I'll win, right? I can beat most grandmasters from this position. Queen takes queen, knight takes, and now I play knight here. I'll swap off another minor piece if I can. Also, I take him off the valuable C file. So I challenge him. Engine says not the best move. Engine says the best move is, what is the best move? Hold on. Engine says queen takes c4. Knight takes c4 is best, right? Rook c8 was best. Okay, so my best move, which as I played a bit later, was rook here. That's the best move. Okay. Okay, so I played knight there. I just wanted to move quickly because if you don't move quickly, you lose on time. I'm 30 seconds behind. He played knight here, best move. He wants me to push that pawn so he can come in here and find little holes. But no, I played rook here. I should apparently kick him. I didn't want to kick him. Anyway, that's what he played. Bishop there, I thought, oh, that looks like a good move. I wasn't sure what to do here, so I thought, well, I'll push a pawn. Knight to f5 was better, according to the engine. I didn't like that move because the bishop takes knight and knight takes. Didn't like it, but engine was right. You played knight there. I don't want to play knight takes knight here, but knight takes knight's actually strong. Knight takes knight's probably the best move because after knight takes knight, I was worried about that pawn, but I can actually play knight here, and my knight can't be removed easily. So that's a winning position. Knight takes knight. I should take that probably. Okay, so oh no, engine says I should play knight to d3. I don't see anything, do I? Okay, he took that one off. Bishop takes, rook here, and now I've got a problem because I played slightly inaccurately. I've still got the advantage because I got an extra pawn. Now this is where my chatter asked me the question. He said, why did you move your king up here instead of castling? Well, the king here is safe. If I castle, my king is away from the action, right? So after king here, my king might be able to support the passed pawn, right? If I get a passed pawn, or if I can exert my pressure on the position with f6 and e5 or something like that. And my king is very safe here. It's a great safe square. He played knight takes, so I took a castle off. Why did I take with a castle? Well, I took with a castle because I want to exchange at least one castle. With 2 castles on the board, only 1 pawn up, and both pawns on the queen side being level, I thought to myself, I'm not going to win this. I can't win it. It's too hard. with the two castles on, one pawn. So often the positions are a draw if you've got two castles on. Both players have got two castles on. So I thought if I can eliminate one castle, I might be able to outmaneuver my opponent, just hang on and pressure him with the extra pawn. He took the rook, which is the best move, isolates the B pawn. All right. So I recaptured, and then he played rook there. Best move, just attack the isolated weak pawn. Played rook to d8, best move. Now he can't take the pawn because of the checkmate, right? Okay, that was the plan. Then he played king there. Now I can play rook there, best move, and hold my knight. In that position here, I did consider knight here for a second, which is not a great move, but I considered it. And I played rook here, best move. He played king there, so I played king up here, not the best move, okay. King d7 was better. I'll tell you why king d7 was better. With king d7, I can actually play. If I play king here, I've got a square for my knight to come back in here. Very critical move, right? So that's why king here is much better. So now I find myself with a problem. He wants to play knight check, right? Yeah, he wants to play knight check. And his best move here, he's overlooked it, was sorry, he played knight here. He should play rook up, yeah. Rook up would activate his rook, threatening to come across here, attacking a weak, isolated pawn. It's a very weak pawn. Okay. However, I played knight here. I should play the king across. Now he moves his king up. He should play knight back. I played rook check. I didn't know what else to do. I've got to watch my clock. He played king here, so I should have played king there, but I wanted to get some time. So I just thought I'll attack a pawn. And then I should still play king to c6. I haven't done it. Played knight check. He should have played king over. I played king here, exclamation mark. Finally, I've got my king on the right square. Now he's got some problems. I'm threatening knight check, wins the castle. So now I'm starting to outplay him. And the evaluation bar on the side of the board says I'm better off. Played king here. And now I thought to myself, I saw an attack. Knight here, exclamation mark. I'm threatening rook checks at the same time. He's got to save it doesn't matter where he goes, he can't save the knight and the castle at the same time. And that move just won the game. Right, so the game's over. Tried that, then I gave him a check, which just wins easily. Why prolong the pain? We just got an extra knight, we've got powerful pieces. We just finish him off, change off pieces, rip everything off. And that's the end of the game. See? He played on for a few moves, but he was just trying to win on time. But as you know, eventually we showed him who's boss. And he resigned. Because I was just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, queen. Okay, so there you go. I hope that explains why my king moved towards the centre. And you saw all the activity of the king in the middle of the board. I would not have had those opportunities had I castled instead of playing king here. So you can now see that the king moving up was critical in the endgame. Critical. In other words, I could have lost my pawn if I didn't enable myself to get my king well posted in the centre of the board. So I hope that explains your question, sir. 11 Years is going to write a new chess book. That's right. 11 Years, when you write your new chess book, can you put me in for a signed copy? I'd like a signed copy of 11 Years' new chess book, and it'll be called When to Resign. He says he's got a lot of experience. And 11 Years is going to send me a signed copy of his new book. Wow, imagine that. I've got a signed copy of his new book. Talking about signed copies of books, I've got one here. I've got a book here. And this book, it was given to me by Grandmaster Ian Rogers. You see that? He gave me that book. Australia at the Yerevan Olympiad. Written by Grandmaster Ian Rogers, photographs by Kathy Rogers, and my book is autographed by the Grandmaster. There it is. I've got an autographed copy of a book by a Grandmaster. I'm going to play Ray Lopez. It's a nice book. Nice book. And in this book, he never saw. Grandmaster Rogers did not sign this book. He didn't sign this book. Curtis defeats Ian Rogers, page 38. I beat the Grandmaster. Yeah, I beat him in the Australian Chess Championships. He wanted to take my knight and play queen here. But I said, no, you're not doing that to me. If he takes that pawn, I am going to fork his two pieces. That's my plan. I'm trying to steal pawns and fork pieces. Now I want to centralise my pieces and take pawns off. I'm pretty naughty. I'm a very naughty boy. Well, this is dangerous. He wants to play queen here. I've got to play accurate chess. I can't play bullshit. I still want to attack his pawn structure. I want to take all these pawns off. Notice we're using the same technique as before. 1 second. We're using the same technique as before. We're getting our pieces developed rapidly. Threading knight check. There's a check here. And now we hold that. See, he's threading that pawn. So we hold that. He's still trying to get that pawn. That's a critical pawn. I don't want him to get that pawn. So I'm holding it now with this pawn. He's going over there. Now I can take this pawn. Oh no, hold on, he's on that one. I don't want him to get that one, so I'll protect that one. I want to protect all my pawns. Oh, I was winning. But there you go. Do you want me to show you how I beat Grandmaster Ian Rogers? In 1976, it's going back a few years, isn't it? In 1976, Grandmaster Ian Rogers won the Australian, can you see this? Won the Australian, I'm trying to show you. There you go. He won the Australian Junior Championship, 9.5, 1.5 points clear of the field. So he showed he was a chess prodigy even then. Yes. Do you know that CJS Purdy was the chess champion of Australia on 4 occasions, New South Wales champion on 7 times between 1929 and 1962, and he was the Zone 10 champion of the world in 1960. A little bit of chess history for you. And here's my game against Grandmaster Ian Rogers. And it was played in the first round of the Australian Chess Championship in 1976. So we're going back 44 years ago. 44 years ago. Here we are, the Australian Chess Championship. And my opponent was totally dead, by the way, in this position. He was totally dead. I could have just killed him. Could have killed him with king here. King there was probably the best move. Just a winning move, king there. Right. I'm going to show you my game against Grandmaster Ian Rogers. At the time, he was only a young boy. And we were playing in the Australian Chess Championship. And as I say, this was in January 1976. So it was a long time ago. We're going to have to go into the analytical room. Hold on. The analysis room. I've got an auto mod message, sex-based terms. We're going to deny that. We've got a guy causing trouble in the chat. And we're going to... he's been timed out. He's been timed out, but I might have to ban him if he keeps it up. I think he's a troll. E4 was played. E4. Right. Grandmaster Rogers had the white pieces. Now, I played C6. The double name of the Caruana defence commemorates the two Central European masters who first in the era of modern defence began to play it around the turn of the century. So there we go. So did you know that? So the Caruana, the double name of the Caruana, Caro and Khan, are the two players who first in modern chess began to play it in the turn of the century. Knight to Queen Bishop 3 was played by Grandmaster Rogers. But he wasn't a Grandmaster then. He was only a young boy. He was actually the favourite for the Australian Championship. The players all thought that he was going to be favourite to win. Everyone thought so except me, because I thought, no, I'm going to stop him. Anyway, it says more usual and more natural is pawn to Queen 4. So Ian Rogers played Knight C3, but that's the more natural move, right? He played Knight C3. So I played pawn to D5. And he played this move, Queen here. And this is not a great move. It says Knight to Bishop 3 is generally played here. So not Queen here, but normally Knight here is played. The idea of the text was attributed to Grandmaster Spielmann, the great attacking virtuoso of a few decades ago. It's to inhibit the development of the Black Queen's bishop. Yes, so the plan here is to stop this bishop by developing, and you're actually threatening the pawn. All I did was I played pawn here. And the notes by Peter Wren at the time, he's since passed away. Peter Wren was a very interesting character. It says, better is pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, and queen to king 6. So in other words, instead of this pawn move, better is pawn takes pawn. Oh, wrong move. Yes, so pawn takes pawn. So, anyway, played pawn to king 3. I didn't do that. I played pawn to king 3. Oh. Oh no, I've got the wrong game here. Pawn to king 5. Put pawn here. When he did that, I went here. I thought, you beauty. It says now that there's no pressure on the queen's pawn, Black claims his share of the centre. Yeah, because he's decided not to put any pressure on my pawn. This is protected, so I thought, well, I'll just take advantage of the centre, right? So, and the whole game is played by Curtis with convincing positional skill. I didn't write that, he wrote that. In closed positions, moving a pawn twice in the first few moves, right? We're talking about the opening here. And Peter Wren is correct. He's saying if you move a pawn in closed positions in the first few moves, it's not surprising. It's in open positions that the time factor is important. So in open positions, the time factor is very important. But in closed positions, I can afford to move this pawn one more square because the position's closed, right? And I get this lovely developing move threatening a pawn, right? Anyway, he played queen here, right, hoping that I would just play badly. and I would overreach, and then he could get an attack on the king side or something, right? So he's holding his pawn. So this move puts his queen on a better square and holds his pawn. But I played this move, which surprised him, because now I'm threatening knight here. Hits his queen. The reason why beginners are told not to bring the queen out too early, Grandmaster Ian Rogers, right, is that the opponent may be able to gain time or better by smiting the lady, he says. So, okay, so he played knight to bishop 3. And here, we don't attack the queen straight away. The threat is greater than the execution. We don't want white to play bishop here so he can castle comfortably. So we play a6 to prevent the bishop check. And a6 it says a very good move. These are the notes at the time by the chess editor. He said, a very good move. White can't do a thing. He says, white can't do anything. There's nothing white can do. Because this move supports this massive pawn front coming in, expansion on the queen side. Prevents the knight to knight 5 move to play check, and cramps white's pieces. And it says the fewer pieces that white has, the less they will get in each other's hair. So what he's really saying is white's constricted in space, right? So he played pawn here. He thought, oh, well, that's all I can do. And now I play knight hits queen. And now the problems for black become, for white, sorry, become evident. Right? Play queen to bishop 4. And now I just play knight here. And I've got full control of this central square. And he played bishop to e2. He's trying to just quickly castle, get some sort of semblance of development. But I played this move, pawn to rook 4. And now I'm threatening to really kill him. I'm threatening to play pawn here, or bishop here, and pawn here and here. It would butcher him. This is a routine move. This is a routine move in this type of position. It stops white displacing black's strongly posted knight. That's right. In this position, white wants to play pawn here. This knight's very strong. So we stop him playing that move. He played bishop to d1. He's got a new plan. He wants to move his knight around here. It's really bad position. So we played pawn here. We just fortify our pawn structure with an upside down pyramid, and we're threatening to hit his queen. That's right. So he played pawn to rook 4. He doesn't like that. So we attacked his queen. And now he ran away. He plays queen here. Right? Now the reason why says the queen stays here out of play for the rest of the game. But he didn't like knight here, because if he plays knight here, what move do I play? If Grandmaster Rogers plays knight here, what move do I play in that position? Well, I simply play queen here and he can't stop the check. That's right, I simply play queen here and he can't stop the check. There's no defence. So that means his only move is queen here. And it says here, the queen stays out of the game for the rest of the game. So this is my game against Grandmaster Ian Rogers when he was just a boy in the Australian Championship. It was the first round and he was the favourite because he was a junior with so much promise. We all knew he was going to be a super Grandmaster. Right. So White played bishop takes bishop. The rook took the bishop. And we played pawn to knight 4. And now have a look at the spatial advantage that black has over Grandmaster Rogers. Have a look at this. Fantastic spatial advantage. And now we have complete domination of the centre and the queen side. White castle, there's not much else he can do. Black played queen to bishop 2 to develop a piece. Rook to king 1 was played. He's trying to hold on to his pawns. And we just fianchetto the bishop, bishop to knight 2. Played knight to e2. And we played queen here. So we're on that castle and we're on this pawn. It's a problem for him. So he played knight here. And he's chasing a mirage. White throws the queen rook pawn as a sop for Cerebus, he says. Did you hear that one? He was very articulate, Peter Wren, when he's talking about his chess. He says, chasing a mirage. He says he thinks he might be able to play knight here and knight takes pawn or something. But he says, it throws a sop for Cerberus, he says. He said perhaps he hoped that while black's queen was temporarily out of play, he'd be able to concoct some active play for his pieces. He said, but Curtis judges the position correctly and sees that such hopes are unreal, and he takes the pawn. Pawn to bishop 4, here he comes. And we play queen pawn takes pawn. He plays pawn takes pawn. And we play pawn to knight 5. There we go. He played knight to d3. He's trying to cause some trouble. He wants to go in there. But we simply return our queen back here. Said the spider to the fly, of course, if queen takes bishop, knight takes pawn, and the horse escapes capture for 6 by knight to d6. So there we go. Bishop to rook 4. So he plays bishop here. He's trying to trick me now. He wants me to take the bishop so he can take the pawn. But I ignored him and I just castled. And now I'm threatening the knight here. Rogers played rook here so he could take the knight. Always trying to be tricky. So he just played queen here and got the queen off the line. He played king rook to queen 1. So we played queen knight to queen 5 there. And now we've got this massive attack on the king side. He played knight takes knight, he virtually had to. And we played rook takes knight. Now we're threatening rook takes pawn, attacking the queen and trapping the queen. We're threatening to trap the queen. So he didn't want to play pawn here because his queen would be trapped forever in the corner. If he put the pawn to protect the pawn, his queen's trapped, the white queen's trapped. This is, we're playing Grandmaster Rogers here, back in 1976 when he was just a young boy. First round of the Australian Masters Championship. That's right. I doubled the rooks on the knight. If there's only one completely open file and the rooks and queens are still on the board, control of the open file will decide the game. And you know what Grandmaster Rogers did in this position? He resigned. That's right, the threats are too great. The threat is rook takes knight, and the other threat's rook takes pawn, traps the queen. And he's virtually in total Zugzwang. He's got no moves. So he actually resigned in this position. And that was his first Australian Masters Chess Championship. So after that, he decided, he said to me, he didn't say it to me outright, but I knew then, because I could tell how good he was, I thought, oh my God, it's going to be hard to beat this fella from here on end. And do you know what? After that, I played him several times after, and I never won a game. Grandmaster Rogers then ascended to the chess throne, starting to play all the international grandmasters, and I was left behind. But at least I got a win over him in his first round of his first Australian Masters. And he's one of my best friends. I love Ian Rogers, and I love his wife Kathy. And I just it's nice to have that game in my pocket for the rest of my life. I can always show him that game and say, "Oh, do you remember this one here?" Right? I don't think he'll ever forget it. He never let me forget it because he beat me every other time he played me. He would try extra hard. Do you know how bad it is when you're playing a grandmaster and he says, "I remember when you beat me when I was only 16 years old or whatever, 17 years old. You beat me." And he never forgot. He never forgot. He tried extra hard to beat me after that. He learned from the suffering from that game. So it just goes to show you, in chess, you might suffer a little, right? But you can learn from your suffering. There's another good chess lesson. You can learn from your suffering in chess. Oh, boy. Actually, in that position, queen here is the only move to protect the knight and the thing at the same time. But you just take his pawn. It's shocking, isn't it? Just clean him up. Oh, that double rook move, that's a killer. Okay, that's the end of that game. And now we're going to play some players. We're going to play some players. So my rating 21-21 is on the increase. We've got the outgoing challenge. Here we go. He's 21-30. His name is JJ_23. We'll play D4. Try to play like Fabio Caruana.